Welcome back to Midlife with Mystics and Misfits. I'm CeCe.
And I'm Jen.
Hey girl,
Hi.
how's it going?
I'm good. Oh my God, you look
Good.
gorgeous. Tell me
Um,
what did you do?
as do you, by the way. Pink is beautiful on you.
Aw, thank you.
I got new hair product today.
It
Well,
honestly,
yesterday.
I saw your story and I was like, what the heck? She just got her hair done or something. It looks gorgeous. What did you use?
Well, I trimmed it up a little bit on my own. Because this style is really easy to kind of trim up on your own. But the product I got was it's Wow brand.
Wow, I gotta write that down.
Yeah,
Wow.
it's Wow brand. So I got
And
their
is it
leave-in conditioner.
Yeah.
And I've got their volumizer, which I think is what did the trick.
It's gorgeous. It's
Thank you.
gorgeous.
I'm
Yeah,
happy
I
with it.
absolutely love it. Did you get it colored or did you do any like dark, like purple or black shampoo?
Black shampoo, baby.
I can tell. I know you told me about black shampoo, so I went and did it. And I'm like, I love how it's like making these whites whiter. And I'm like, yay.
Right? It does. It makes it last so long.
Yeah.
Like my
How often
hairdresser's always like, "What are you using?" I'm like, "Black shampoo."
how often do you wash your hair?
About every 3 days.
Mm. I'm trying to go like I'm about every 5 now. I'm trying to
Ooh,
make it
that's
long.
good.
Yeah.
Sometimes I can get longer. It just depends. It depends on hormones and how greasy the head gets and
Yeah.
you know,
I
all
made
that
my new
stuff.
I made a dry shampoo though. The
Oh,
dry
you
shampoo that I
did?
made was, arrowroot flower
Ooh.
and cocoa to make it like the color. Because if you don't have white hair like we like we
No
do.
way. Yeah.
Yeah, and just the cocoa to make it a little bit darker based on your color, so,
No
I
way.
love it rather than that, like, toxic stuff that we used to spray in our hair all the time.
For my bronzer, I literally use just cocoa.
You use what?
Just cocoa powder.
Oh, I
I
love
use raw
that.
I use raw cacao. Yeah.
Okay, I have so much to tell you.
Oh my god,
So
tell me.
I had a mediumship reading, private, uh,
Ooh.
Friday night. Oh, no,
Yes.
it didn't go so well. So I
Uh-oh.
felt so bad. This person I have never read before. First of all, I put it in my book as a half hour later. I've done that maybe once a decade ago. Like it really was
Yeah.
not, it's not something I do.
Yeah.
So the fact that now I'm started off late, I was a little flustered and I felt so bad because she had called and said, like, are you, or texted and said, are we supposed to be still doing it? And I was like, absolutely. It wasn't even a time zone thing. She was in Alberta, but I knew I had just put the wrong time.
Mhm.
And she, comes in and hello, and we introduce ourselves, and then I just get right into reading. Instantly,
Mhm.
a grandmother figure and then a contemporary to her grandmother, and I think it's her son come in.
Mm.
It works out that you know, she's like, I don't know, I don't know, I don't know. It turns out she did know. It was just that she didn't know a ton about them. So that threw me
Oh,
off immediately because I'm
no
like, when
kidding.
I hear nope, 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 I'm like, I pride myself on being fairly accurate, very, very
Yeah,
accurate.
you're always accurate.
And so the fact that she couldn't take this, but then it turns out she could. Well, she goes, well, I do, but it just wasn't who she wanted to hear.
Oh,
And so I
god,
said,
that
well,
happens so often.
yeah. And I said, well, I'm not sure the bigger picture.
Uh-oh, you
Or
just I will
anyway, I eventually like, and then I'm reaching. My intuition has shut right down. And I was
oh,
like,
fuck.
I don't know what to do. I said, well, who did you, and I've never said this before. I said, who did you want to connect with? And it was her dad and her husband.
Mm.
And so then I got her niece that came through.
No shit.
She didn't know not a lot about her niece. So and I finally just stopped and I said, I know what I'm getting. I know that it's accurate. You can't confirm, or, you're not even writing it down to see if you can confirm it. Maybe this was
Yeah.
actually meant to be for your mom. I don't know. And I could feel myself and my intuition dimming. And I
Yeah.
was like, okay. And so I actually just said, I'm going to actually end the call now and I'm going to just send you back your money. So
Yeah.
I needed to honor that, but I also needed to honor spirit. So it was so interesting. I've never had that.
Absolutely.
my ego took a bit of a like, I had a little bit of a spiral as the weekend went on, because then, I woke up Saturday in a funk, which you and I talked. You were
Yes.
also in a bit of an off mood.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so I
Yeah, it
just
was weird.
yeah, and so I could chalk it up to maybe, it was that, but I was it's just my intuition, and when I start questioning that, it throws me for a little bit of a loop, even though we do what we do and we see, you see spirits and I hear them and feel them, and we both kind of we know they're there. And so the fact that that happened to me, I just was like, "Oh, it rattled me."
Interesting. Did you find that your intuition early on kicked in and you didn't follow it quicker? Like, did your intuition kick in to a point where you're like, "This is because of the time lapse and everything else that this shouldn't have been a thing tonight?"
Exactly. And we had
Yeah.
tried to reconnect a few different times, and then I made it work for her. And there was something, and I don't know the bigger picture of why, and it's never happened. But I veered away from whatever spirit was trying to veer me to. Right. So,
Interesting.
and it was quite interesting because I again, you look back in hindsight and you're like, why? Like, why do you do this? Why don't you listen to your intuition? So,
It
I wanted to kind of let you know about that, but I was like, I need to talk to CeCe because, um,
right?
yeah, we just, it's so interesting how, for me anyway, I have really worked on developing intuition. I think you're very far ahead of me and probably many others on this journey. But just for our listeners, what do you define intuition as?
Oh,
I know.
that's such an interesting question. Intuition, specifically for me, is like if I had to put a word on it, it would be like this, and I don't even know if it's a word, but it's like this niggle.
Oh, that's a good
It's
one.
like
Yeah.
this, like, it's almost like a voice, but it's not a voice, and it's almost like a knowing, but it's like a wave that runs through your body. Like, I
Mm,
don't know how else to describe it. It's like a wave that runs through your body that signals something inside of you that tells you yes, no, or whatever the case
mm,
is.
mhm.
And it's usually strong enough to hear, but then we dismiss it because we hear our egos so friggin' often that sometimes we don't like I don't know about everybody else, but sometimes I don't decipher between the two, or it's just easier to ignore it because whatever's sitting in front of you is just easier to do.
Right.
Does that make sense? But it's
It
like, yeah,
completely makes sense. That's
yeah,
how I
it's like,
define it too. I know it's that just that inner knowing. And we had talked last podcast about masculine and feminine. And
mhm,
for me, the intuition, and we all have masculine and feminine as we discussed in the other
yeah,
episode, but it feels to me like the feminine is the intuition, the gentle, the knowing, the steady, the calm. And what
yeah,
I've learned to discern is that when I'm in the fear or the ego, it's repetitive, it's chaotic, it's overthinking, constant, constant. It's not that serene, calm knowing. Do, you know?
yes. I
Do you feel the
completely
same?
ag Yes, I completely agree with you. I
Yeah.
completely agree with you. It is it is exactly that.
Mm,
It's like you're in, like, either in the masculine chaotic part of it or you're in the feminine, knowing part of it. There's, like, almost no in between,
yeah.
which is so wild.
And so when did when did you start listening? There was literally a time that I can pinpoint. Is there a time that you can pinpoint that intuition or needing to start doing a better job at listening to your intuition became like a or has it been something you've always kind of done?
My my head's tingling. Yeah. Um, um, I think there's been a few points in my life where it's came up where I've had to listen. And there was once when I was a teenager that it was like smack dab in my face. It was like, I don't know, every piece of everything in me was like stop, don't go any further, don't move, like, whatever the case was. Like, it was very, it was a frightening experience for me at where I was, but, following it, I had confirmation from someone else, when I followed it that they actually saw. Okay, so I don't wanna go into a big story, but I was left alone on the side of a road as a teenager by somebody
Mm.
in a very bad neighborhood, and, um, I mean, I was probably 98 pounds at the time, like, I was teeny tiny.
Mm.
It was nighttime, so, yeah, I was left on the side of a road, and my intuition literally just said, "Stay here. Do not move." Like,
Oh,
do not walk forward, do not go backwards, do not, like, just stay here. And someone had come by that knew me. Someone was happened to drive by that knew me. And they drove past, and then they turned around. And when they came back, they said, Are you okay?" And I said, "No." Like, I'm in the middle of nowhere, nowhere I know.
yeah.
So they said, "Well, come on in, we'll get you back home safe." So on as I got into the car, they said, "Who is that really large gentleman next to you?" As we passed. I know I'm like, and I'm like, so this was my first experience of following my intuition. And I said, "What, I don't know what you're talking about." And they said there was this like 6 foot something huge gentleman standing next to you when we passed, but when we turned around, he was gone. And I was like, that was my first experience with saying, I listened, and that was angelic. That had to be angelic standing next to me. That
Wow.
had to be a guide or Saint Michael, or right, like, somebody was standing next to me to make sure that I was okay
Yeah.
in that spot. So that was, like, my very first, experience with hearing it so loud and clear that I
Mm.
had that I was like, I had to listen.
Mm.
And then different various spots, I think, within my life, but that was, like, the cut and dry, crystal clear point where I was like, "Ooh, I know what that feels like."
Did your house, your mom, your grandmother, did people in your house kind of encourage that intuitiveness?
God, no.
Mm. Yep.
No. I was the only one in my family.
Interesting.
Yeah, out of 6 kids. Yeah, I was the only one that ever talked about this stuff. I was the black sheep of the family, so I was the only one. That was it. I
Yeah.
don't need to say anymore. That was it.
Yeah. That was it. Yeah.
Yeah. But
That
what about for you?
Yeah, it's so telling because I'm the same. It was never something that was nurtured. I know that I was very intuitive as a child, very much, and I think all children are, very
Mm.
intuitive and very much somebody who followed my gut in everything until you're told not to, or you're told
Yeah.
to behave, or you're told to, people.
Conform or
Yeah,
whatever.
exactly. And so then we stop listening to it. So, I have many examples as a kid of following it and not following it. And so as I got through the years, I would say I actually got further and further away from it,
Mhm.
because of the people I was
I
surrounding
think
myself
that's
with.
natural.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I mean, at one point in my life, I was even an atheist. Like, it is mind blowing to me that that's
Wow.
where I was. It was so disconnected from self. And
Yeah.
then a lot of, things kind of happened, in starting in 2017, where I started making decisions that just didn't make sense. And I just now, in hindsight, look back and, see, thank God, literally, thank, spirit, divine, universe, whatever our highest source is. Thank you for helping me get kind of back onto the path. It started with my grandmother passing, me watching that beautiful, very sad experience, and watching her, have people come and visit her that she, crossed over her son, and, things like that. And
Wow.
it literally just, my eyes opened up to, okay, you have to really kind of stop living in so much in logic and start kind of opening it up to the possibilities of my gifts, because I know that what I used to be. Um,
Yeah.
and so in when COVID hit, I was so disconnected from self that I knew I needed a major change. And I just put it up to the universe and I said, listen, the one thing I need to develop is my intuition because I don't even trust myself at this point. And
Mm.
so, that's when I met somebody on TikTok, actually. Her name was Nicole, and she was holding a course for developing intuition, and
Mm.
she reached out to me, and I was like, and so long story short, I decided to do it, and she completely put me back on this path of where I am today, and so,
She was
that's
your guardian angel.
she really was. Exactly, exactly, and I knew at some point that I needed to get back and trust in my gut, but it's been a long journey because of the huge disconnect between, you know, my ego and then my soul. Because I think sometimes I refer to, and I don't know if you do, intuition as my, like, soul, the
Oh,
highest source
yeah.
of. Yeah.
Yeah, I always call it my highest self speaking through me,
Mhm.
like, that intuition, that gut feeling. It's interesting too that you say that you went away from it too, because I think I did as well, because I operated in, and you probably can agree, the first 5, 6 years of your kid, when you have kids, you operate in survival mode of, "How do I raise these children?"
Yeah,
Right? And there isn't a lot of room for intuition at that point because you're literally wake them up, feed them, make sure they don't die,
yeah.
right? Make sure you
That's
don't die,
only
just
goal.
keep
Check,
everybody alive.
check,
That's it.
check.
Pretty much, exactly. So, I mean, kudos to every mom out there who has intuition while their children are little. I don't think I did a lot. There was certain things I did for, but not not in the same way I did as a teenager. And that was my gap too. It was I was really, really spiritual and really connected as a teen, and then not. And then it came back to me as the kids got older, it came back to me.
Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah, and again, it's so interesting that even though we are who we are and we talk to dead people. You
I
know?
know. Yeah.
We do. And
Yeah.
we talk to our highest source and our highest self all the time. It's so interesting that, as happened on Friday, I could get so, pulled away, and stop listening to my intuition. So,
But it's
um
perfectly strategic at the same time and so purposeful because it allowed you to be like almost pull yourself back and be like, okay, what was really going on that I was ignoring? And I
right.
mean, that's the humanness of being human. We do
Right.
ignore it. Look how many times I've said I've ignored it and I've paid for it a lot. I've gotten sick or this or that, the other thing. And
Yep.
right.
The the
It's
yeah.
so crazy.
I know one of the biggest stories I have of not listening to it is, well, actually, I'm going to tell. You know what I'd prefer to tell? A story of when I did listen to it,
Yes,
because we all
please.
have the not listen to it with relationships.
Often.
Yeah, with not resting when our body is screaming to rest and we get sick.
Absolutely.
Turn right instead of turn left, right, whatever. And then running into a friend that needed to, one of the greatest things. I have so many amazing when I actually pay attention to, one of my friends, I had happened to see that he was really, quite, I could feel his energy low in his posts on social media. And I saw him posting at Christmas with just him and his sons. And I hadn't spoken to him since high school. And I went scrolling past him like we all do, and then I something pulled me back. And then I just pressed his name and pressed message, and he later told me that he was planning on, unaliving himself.
Oh
And
man.
and he because I had reached out to him, he something about that and knowing that at least one person cared was the moment that he was, "Okay, you know what? I actually have to rethink this," right? And so those are the
Amazing.
intuitive kind of moments, or, another one was, I was so angry because we were so late for this party, and then I drove away and I forgot my dinner or the part that we were bringing for the potluck, and I had to come home and get it. And I was so frustrated and so, about now we're even later, and and it turns out that as we then are driving, there was a massive car accident at the
Of
train.
course.
And I'm like, Oh, thank you. I see the bigger picture now. You know, it was just
Totally.
so, I mean, I felt bad for the people that were in the accident, but
Yeah,
that was their story, that it was supposed to not be me at that particular moment, or with my children anyway.
totally.
Yeah,
And our
so
intuition can work in mysterious ways like that too. Cheers,
right.
by the way.
Yeah.
Cheers.
Happy
Cheers.
happy weekend.
Happy weekend. Happy
Yeah.
11111 portal
Mm,
times 4,
yes,
the day of new beginnings.
I love that. I love that. And
Mm.
so we talked last time about surrender. So this is my goal. Like I've been really trying to figure out in January, I try to pick a something I'm going to do, like run a marathon or learn
Ah,
something new or do
you go,
something.
girl.
Well, not that was a long time ago. And so but this year it's the surrendering and the trusting the
Mm.
intuition that I've decided to start to really kind of hone in on. And so um, my
Well,
question to
no,
you,
wait, no wonder that happened Friday then.
oh, oh my
You
God.
just
You're
literally
right.
answered your question because the universe is like, Have you really decided to pay attention?"
I literally decided the next day because I
See?
called you and I was like, that's it. I canceled everything that I had to do. And I was like,
Yeah,
nope, I'm having a day of fun.
that totally
I'm,
had to be like that.
yeah. Oh my God. It so did. Thank you, CeCe.
So so good.
It's
So
so good.
good.
Thank you. Thank you, universe. Oh my God. I never
Yeah,
even put that together. Oh,
so good.
and we come full circle.
And we
So,
come full circle.
my question then is, and maybe people who are going to listen to this have the same questions, and I struggle with it. How do
Mhm.
you know if it's intuition or if it's fear? Because
Mm.
for me, I'm, very logical. So I like to
Mhm.
ruminate and think things through instead of that intuitive hit, that knowing hell yes, hell no. How do
Right.
you, how do you know? How do you know?
One of the things that I think that I've personally developed in that realm is, um, so if I'm not sure if it's my head or my heart or my gut talking. So what I'll normally do is I'll sit down, and I'll ground my feet to the ground, and I'll take a few deep breaths first before I'm gonna make a decision on something.
Mm,
Because we were raised in a very, fear-based environment. So my whole life was based on the unknown and fear of the unknown and fear of everything. So coming full circle, and coming out of that, and I'm blessed to have come all the way, like, mostly, I think, all the way out of that. Now I take my hand, I put one hand on my gut, like, on my sacral, and then I put one hand on my heart, and I
mm,
breathe into that space, and I will ask myself 1,000 questions. So yesterday, when I had messaged you in the morning, and I'm like, "Oh my god," like, this wave of anxiety came and hit me in the chest, like, out of absolutely nowhere. I literally went upstairs to get ready for the day, and it was like, boom, and it was there. And I'm like, "What the heck is this about?" And it was like that type of anxiety that's almost scary, that's like makes you fearful. So I was like, "All right." So I sat down with it, and I asked myself 4 different questions. I said, um, "Is this from the coffee I just drank?" You know how you can
yeah.
you know how you can
Yeah.
get that anxiety
Yeah.
feeling from coffee?
Yeah.
So I
Yeah.
was like, "Okay, no, I can feel it. No, it's not the coffee. Is is this anxiety mine?" And I was like, right away, hand on my chest and my gut, I'm like, "No, this anxiety is actually not mine. Is this
Mm,
anxiety, because I'm leaving the house today? Is there something pulling me back from needing to leave the house today? Should I stay home?" And I got a big no. And I'm like, "Is this collective anxiety?" And I got this big wave. So as soon as I said, "Is it collective anxiety?" Friggin' burst into tears for about 30 seconds straight. Tears just streamed out of me like water, and then it was gone, and the anxiety was completely gone. But that's how I learned to walk myself through my intuition for the most part, is I ask myself good questions to see where it's come to see what it is, to see if it's my ego saying, "Don't leave the house," or whatever the case is,
right.
right? Because my ego a lot of time doesn't want me to leave the house. And it has nothing to do with being okay or not. It just home is comfy, right?
Right. Right.
So,
Yeah, and that's what I'm finding too is sitting with it, pausing with it. I love the
mhm.
questions. I don't do that. I'm gonna start doing that. I just let it kind of come in, and sitting in meditation really helps it just kind of be like, I'll ask a question oh, I guess I do, but I don't ask them the way you did. I'll ask a question and then I'll just wait and just see what comes in. I have a tendency though to then get that hell yes, hell no, that quick intuitive knowing. And then I start talking myself out of it and rationalizing and, being questioning about it. And, is this really, do you really have enough money to do this? Or is this something is this a good choice? Do you have more, like going to play yesterday all day? You have so many other things you should be doing. And as soon as I hear should, I'm like, okay, that's not my
Yes.
intuition. That's my
Right.
ego. I'm going to play.
Yes. Amen to that. That is one of the biggest key words to know that it's not your intuition is when should or have to come up.
Mhm.
That
Yeah.
tells you right there you're in your ego and you're not paying attention to what that niggle is,
Yes,
right?
I love the
That
word nickel. I'm gonna use it from
right? I think Karen came up with it a long time ago, and it's something that's always stuck because it's like there's no defining name for it other than it's like a little wiggle, but it's like it just nods at you, right?
where do you feel it in your body?
The intuition portion,
Yeah, the knowing.
the knowing comes from like guttural, like down low
Your
sacral.
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, I would say that I'm the same, like that restrictive or the expansive kind of
Yeah.
feeling is like that, "Oh god, no," or the this feels actually lighter. That's kind of where I've
Absolutely.
noticed that it's for me too. A
Yeah.
friend of mine was telling me that they feel it in their throat. It's like that constricting,
Mm.
expansive expansion there. So I would love to know, like other people,
Yeah.
where,
Please tell us, viewers, if where your intuition is felt in your body. That'd be cool to know.
yeah, because I
'Cause
think
I've never
that's
really thought about it outside of me. I'm like, I think everybody feels it this way. Apparently not.
mhm, right. Like who knows? I don't know. You and
Yeah.
I very similar, but
Yeah.
wow. And so with intuition and, getting into your body and then trusting that quick energy, like that I call it, I keep saying it the hell yes, hell no energy. Um, how do you know? Because here's the thing with relationships, I'm going to give you friendships, romantic, whatever it is.
Yeah,
I
absolutely.
have a tendency to be very much wanting to believe the best in people.
Mm.
And so, forgiving. And then, part of me is like, oh, I always knew that this would, there would be a
Yeah.
betrayal or there would be some kind of a backstabbing or that something would
Yep.
happen. And so, what do you say? Like, how do you define that? What do you, I don't know. Like, I'm still kind of working through that and what that
How do I
is.
how do I define like, well, I mean, that is it is intuition based because those things normally do play out, yeah,
Mm,
is what I've found. I'm like,
yeah.
everyone that I've ever, had relationships with, whether that be an acquaintance or a friendship or a relationship, whatever, that kind of intuition that's in the back where you already know that you know, it
Mm,
it never lasts, and it always I mean, I always chalk it up to it's always purposeful anyways. 'Cause
right.
you learn something about yourself when you go through those
Mm,
things every single time, and if you
yeah.
didn't learn it through that person, you learn it through someone else anyways. So, but, it's like it's almost like that stacks up the truth of your intuition, like, it stacks up on one on top of each other, even though you didn't follow it, it's like a stack of books that you pile up knowing that that was right.
Mm.
Even though you didn't follow it, it was still right.
In hindsight, right? Because 'Cause
In
you're still learning.
hindsight, yeah,
That's
in
a good way to look
hindsight,
at it.
right? So then
Yeah.
you, like, pack up truth upon truth upon truth, and that builds your I feel like that just keeps building your intuition even when you don't follow it.
Mhm.
It still builds the truth of it up.
The
Like,
experience of it. Last time
absolutely.
you felt like this, it came out to truth.
100%.
Yeah.
And
Oh,
it doesn't matter what it is, right? Like
yeah.
said on the first podcast, putting my feet in the water, I knew I was not supposed to do that, and I did it
Mhm,
anyways.
mhm.
And I paid for it in sickness, but that was just another truth that I had stacked up going, dummy, like when are you gonna all out, like go all in and actually listen and stop ignoring it?
We're gonna do it this year. We're
Yeah, we're
surrendering.
gonna do it this year.
We're
Yeah,
surrendering.
we're gonna do it this year. We
Well,
are
it's just like
no longer going to be policed by our old programs. That's what we're gonna call it.
that's a great I love that. We're not gonna be policed by our old programs. Ooh,
Yeah,
yes. Well,
right?
even this podcast. Like, look at how, again, when you are living your path, when you are on your path, like we randomly had a conversation. And do you want to start a podcast? Okay, let's do it. And
Yeah.
it felt like that instant hell yes, you
It was
know?
an instant hell yes.
Yeah.
And
And
it
then
came together so easy because it
so
was an instant hell
effortlessly.
yes.
It
So
really,
effortlessly,
it
right?
really did. Yeah.
Like so effortlessly. Yeah, like I don't know. It's definitely this year is that. It's like we are going to surrender to our intuition. We are going to make sure that our magic is not locked up inside of us.
Mm, I love that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, and I hope that whoever listens to this, and even when we go back and listen to this, it's that constant reminder of, you know,
Yeah.
really just continue to lean into that soft surrender knowing. Uh,
Absolutely. And stack up all the times that you maybe didn't follow it, but you knew it was true. That's
mhm,
evidence for you that your intuition works.
right?
And there's nothing
So
wrong with not listening to it. It just is part of the process.
so if somebody's listening to this and
Mhm.
they are really where I was literally 6 years ago saying, "I have 0 trust in myself. I don't trust myself at all." What would you say would be, uh, the very first step into leaning into this kind of
Uh,
yin energy?
well, it's so funny that you said that you didn't trust yourself 6 years ago because I honestly didn't trust myself 6 years ago either, nor did I trust anybody else.
Well,
I
yeah.
mean,
No,
uh,
I didn't trust
right?
anybody because if you don't trust yourself, you
No.
can't trust anybody else. No,
No. I
no.
mean, you can't even trust your partner or your spouse in a weird way because if you didn't you can't like you can't trust yourself, you cannot trust anything else.
Nope.
So, the one thing that I did, and I'm gonna give my husband props for this because he was in a self-development,
Mhm,
year that year, and he listened to a Bob Proctor, video, and this man loves Bob Proctor stuff. Um, and I was not a big fan of I'm not and I'm like, he just never resonated with me, but he resonated with him.
yeah.
But I think I came home, I don't know where I was. I came home from something and he's like, "You have to watch this video." And I was like, I'm like, "What is it?" He's like, "It's Bob Proctor. You're like, you have to watch it." And I was like, "Ugh." And then I could hear my intuition be like, "Just sit down and watch it." But man, I did it with gritted teeth. Gritted
Yeah.
teeth. Did not want to watch this video.
This is
So I
stupid.
sit down and like a good little student, I grab my notebook
Oh.
and um and it was him talking about what you write, you create. So it was like an hour and a half long and it took a long time for him to get to the point, but it was basically whatever you write down in the way of I am, basically I am sentences,
Mhm.
you will create over time. So I
Mm,
got to the end of that and I'm like, I think that's the first one I really resonated with. So I was
mm,
like, all right, starting tomorrow, I'm going to start a page, not a line. I'm going to start a page of I ams or I do's and we'll see what happens 6 months from now. So here my husband is one that's in love with this video. Does he start the same thing? No, he leaves it to me. So I start this writing and one of the first things I write is besides the I ams, I trust myself. I trust others. I trust my husband. I trust my kids. I trust the world. I trust the universe because I had none in any of that. So that's where I started with it. And I probably wrote for a good year and a half. It was crazy. The
mm.
the power of writing is amazing. Pen to paper, not digital. Pen to paper actually changes your brain. Like, it literally does change your brain. I got to the point where I wrote down, I am able to eat pizza and still lose weight, and I could literally eat pizza whenever I wanted, and I'd wake up lighter in the morning. Like, that's how crazy writing is. But anyways, that's
Y
how that started.
yeah.
So, I think it'll be different for everybody, but until you realize that you don't trust you or anybody else. If you say you don't trust someone, you don't have trust in yourself. How could
I
you,
agree with
right?
yeah.
Um, I feel so long-winded when I tell you stories, but it's
Perfect.
all there's always like back channel to it that brings me to those points. And it's not stuff that I think I would come up with on my own. Like, I don't
Mhm.
think I would have recognized that until I sat with a pen and paper and started to write really good things about myself that I didn't believe at the time either, but I wanted to believe. And
Mm.
then over time, I started to believe that stuff. And then that stuff came to fruition. And then our relationship changed. And um, just like little things, again, that just stacked up the truths and proved that I could trust myself. And then I could trust other people. And then I could trust what was coming from the universe. And it's, I mean, it's not 100% all the time, right? You always, I think that, like we talk about the pendulum swinging, I do go back to moments of not trusting until s the universe literally will show me how I can trust now. So instead of showing me other stuff, it shows me that I can trust.
Mm.
So that's kinda how it happened for me. What about you? Like, how did you learn that? How did you learn that? Because you didn't have it 6 years ago, so how did it come to fruition for you?
I I got very lucky, not lucky, as we know, God, divine spirit, whatever
Mm,
we call higher source, had their hand puppeteering it all, meeting this, beautiful soul, Nicole. And then what I realized is that I needed to start making small promises to myself. So
mm,
I said, and it's making me emotional because you just talked about the power of writing and how it literally shifted your trust in self, which then was this kind of expansion of everybody else that came in the bubble, right?
yes.
Um, I just had said to myself literally today that I have my journal here. Which is why I said I like
I love
I'm going to
I
start
love it.
writing 10 minutes. I'm waking up 10 minutes early every morning and I'm just going to start with the I am so happy and grateful that and I'm going to talk to it like it's already here. And so these are the small
Mm,
promises that I learned that I'm going to when I make those promises to myself and I stick with it, this is how I develop trust in self. So drinking 8 cups of water a day. That's how I started. Going for a 10-minute hike. That's it. And that was so every, little thing that I did and as small as it was, committing to it is what created the first steps of trusting in myself.
amazing.
Yeah.
It's, it's so cool. I'd love to hear from our viewers about this too,
Mm.
of their stories of if and how they started to trust themselves and what that looked like. Because you talk about like all those little commitments, and that is like so weird, but it's nothing that ever came to my mind.
Mm.
It's
Yeah.
right. Like, I think this process will be different for everybody too, on what trust in themselves looks like. I think for me at the time, it was more like you literally need to put trust in what you're doing or not doing.
Mm.
Like, that was my buildup, was actually like breathing and relaxing into my body about how life was at the moment, in the moments that it was in, and like accepting and trusting that that was the path. That's where we were at. That's where we were supposed to be. So it's so different. You say the word commitment, I'm like, "Ugh, I don't like it."
I know. I know. We
Isn't
need
that
to dig
funny?
into that there, Cece.
Yeah, no kidding. Oh, come on, I've been almost married for 25 years. There's
I was
good
gonna
commitment
say,
there, but
says the woman who's divorced and the woman who has been married for 25 years.
isn't that the cool, like, the total polarity?
I
Like,
love that.
isn't that wild?
I
That's why
love
there's no one set rules. I love the what did I think it's the hashtag you created was the no rules club.
that.
because
Yeah.
there's no rules. There's no rules to this life
No,
thing that we're all
no,
dealing with.
no.
And we're all doing it the same, but a little bit differently. And we all
And
show up
everything is
just a little bit differently.
and it's all perfect.
It's all perfect.
All
We'd be
perfect.
so boring if we were all the exact same cookie cutter,
I
right?
know.
Like the exact same.
And just to even go a little more than what you just said, it also is important about the people that surround you. One of
Mm,
the biggest things that I've felt and that I've shifted in the past 6 years is the people that I surround myself with.
100%. I would agree with that 100%.
Yeah. I
My network got very small,
Mhm.
like two people small, and you're
Yeah.
like the third small.
I
Like
mean,
you made it in, right?
yay!
But it's true, like
Yeah.
to an expansive area of people, and then it just went
Yep. Yeah.
based on intuition, based on who I knew I could trust and who I knew would like literally have my back.
Mhm. Yeah. And it's interesting as I meet new people, I view them with that kind of lens of, will this person improve my life in some capacity?
Mm,
Trusting that they're here for a reason, but that,
always.
that intuition of are they here to help me learn? Yes. Is it
Yeah,
a journey I want to embark upon right now? No.
exactly. Yes or no? No.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it is I'm at the point where when I meet new people, and I don't want this to stop any new people from coming forward, but I
Right.
meet
Yeah.
new people and there is a level of discernment via the intuition that I have now
Yeah.
where the mask comes off a lot quicker. Where
Yeah.
it's funny, the industry I was in with Chris for about 10 years, or not 10 years, probably 7 years. Um, one of the things I realized is nobody shows you who they truly are until month 3. The
Mhm.
mask can stay on that long. And then after month 3 is when, so 3 months is like intuitional probation for me,
Mhm. Yeah.
really. And it's like I really do follow my intuition the first 3 months of meeting anybody new because I'm like, I know what it looks like.
Yeah.
And that's not a bad thing. That's just like,
Discernment.
do I want to go down that path and continue that or do I not?
Right.
Because I've done the opposite many times where I've allowed it to go on for years with acquaintances and I should
Mhm.
have just pulled the plug. I mean, I learned a lot, but
But now we're done. I mean, some of the lessons don't need to be repeated.
no, for sure.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah. So
Yeah.
it's permission. Again, this is like more permission that you can have discernment in your life, right? If you're
Yeah.
great with everybody, great. If you're not and you feel those nugs of one or the other, you're allowed. You're allowed to just do you.
Exactly. I know it's so funny that, as you're talking, I'm thinking about, the people that I surround myself with. And one of the people that I was playing with yesterday, we went to a place where they had a lot of like games and it was so
Mhm.
competitive. And when I left, this is how new this leaning into like journaling and things like that
Yeah.
has come about because I just was like, okay, my goal this year is definitely going to have to be I'm going to get back into shape. I'm going to get back into like I used to, do a lot of physical activity and be very toned and fit um and this person looked at me and said, "But I thought we were in the like the soft, feminism thing, like feminine energy and softness." And I was like,
Well, it doesn't mean my body needs to be soft.
"Well, but it was actually it felt like it hit me in that. Oh, you're kind of right. Here I am, so
Oh,
used
no
to
way.
masculine and the decisive and the strong and the go,
Yeah,
go, go,
yeah.
and don't listen to my body.
Yeah,
And they
yeah.
said, "What you're let's remember what the bigger." And I was like, "Oh." And this person is a new person, and I was just like, "Oh, this
Wow.
this is why." It was that quick kind of reality check of, "Oh, okay, you're right. This is it." So even in moments of, where do I always
I
go?
love that.
Boom. Yeah. It was and so I was like, "Oh, yes, I'm going to be soft this year, never mind."
I love that. I'm like, I'm always soft. I'm like, I'm ready to be a little more toned, but I'm like, I'll probably remain soft anyways.
You you know what? Yeah, we can still be in shape. It doesn't
Oh,
mean we have to be,
man. That's a
muscle
whole 'nother
told.
podcast of where the hell this you need to look a certain way to be a certain type to be worthy and loved and all the other bullshit that comes with it. That's a whole
Oh,
we're gonna do that. That's a whole 'nother
we
podcast.
definitely need because I need
Oh
to
my
work on
god.
it seems there's
Oh
a
my
lot
god,
of
we all do. I mean, it's like but it's been ingrained for so many years,
yeah.
like decades and decades and decades, right?
Wow.
Yeah, it's fascinating, like fascinating, fascinating.
Old programming that we're not following anymore.
Yeah. Okay, so before we go,
Yeah.
this week, I think I think we talked about this question earlier. If you followed your intuition,
Okay. Yes.
um, oh, what was the question? I think you had put it to me earlier
Yes.
in the
If you
day.
follow Oh, yes. What did I say? If you followed your intuition, what would
Mhm.
it ask you to let go of that's
Right.
no longer serving you?
Okay, you first.
I don't know. Okay,
Uh,
let me see. What is no longer serving me? This energy of oh, not resting.
oh, I
I
love
am
that.
a person who really goes, 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 and I blame it on busy schedule with my kids. It is. It's insane.
Mhm.
Working full time.
I
It
know
is.
you are.
It is.
Yeah.
Doing readings and trying to give back free readings and doing, all of this to
And the
community.
podcast and everything. Yes.
And so the permission to listen to my body. And so
Mm,
that is something that I have very much on and off. And so I often turn my body off. And when it's tired, I'm like, no, you just keep going. You're absolutely fine. Let's go. Drink another coffee, do, whatever it takes, and let's keep
yeah.
going. And so I think that if my intuition could talk, which it is, it would say,
Totally.
listen to your body because and again, this is intuition. I know that once it gets past all your bodies, the emotional, the mental, and eventually, once you start feeling it in the physical body, it's been screaming as it comes in, right? From the other energies that are,
Amen, sister. Yes.
yes. And so I'm like, a friend of mine was just diagnosed with cancer. Another friend of mine had, so there's lots of things that are people as we get older, things happen, yes, but
Yes.
I need to give myself permission so that I don't get sick.
Yeah. 100%. I love that for
Whether
you.
it's a cold or something that's a lot more, intense.
Yeah.
So that's what my
Definitely.
intuition is screaming, and I'm going to listen.
Well, and you've already done intense, so you're already body aware of what intense is. So
Yes,
yes, please listen.
I am.
I give you
I
permission.
am.
Listen and rest.
I
You
will.
called me the
I
other
will.
day and I was literally laying on the bed doing nothing. So you're allowed to do that every now and then too.
Well, even this today, remember I said I'm out of gas? Can we
So
start this a
perfect.
couple hours later, our
Yeah.
recording of this? So
So
this
good.
is I know, I was like, "Okay, I'm just gonna I have to just kind of decompress and have a bath and just
I
do
love
some
that.
yoga, journal, and yeah, anyway. What about you?"
No, it's perfect. Mine is not policing those old that's one of the things I journaled after you asked me that question was not policing the old programs. You talk too much, your voice is too loud, you're out there too much, your magic is too much, all of that kind of stuff. So it's my intuition is literally screaming to stop policing this garbage that is rearing its ugly head. Which by the way, I didn't know half of this shit until we started the podcast that it was even
I'm
programs that
getting
were
so
running.
weepy. I know.
Oh, I
I'm like,
love you. I told
I'm
you I'm
so
gonna get you
happy
to
for
cry
you.
a lot.
I know. That's goal
It's
number
coming. It's
43.
coming.
I'm so happy because yeah, for people who don't know, it's this starting something new like this is really friggin' uncomfortable, even though our intuition has been so screaming how right this is. The
Mm,
universe has aligned up things that shouldn't be lined up so easily
mm.
for us to do this. And yet our insecurities are rearing and the
Oh,
uncomfortableness is rearing. And so I'm so proud of you for
I love
for
you. I'm
for
so proud of you
seeing
too.
that. I love you so much.
I love you so much too. I know, like, yeah, to our viewers, go do something uncomfortable. It'll help you grow in the
it,
weirdest freaking ways, but it'll help you grow.
it really will.
It's
No,
scary, but it's so good.
I
So
love
on
that.
that
Okay.
note, I guess we
Mm,
should say adios to our viewers.
yeah.
And thank you for being with Midlife with Mystics and Misfits. And we hope that you subscribe, like, watch, love us, share in the comments, whatever that you want to share with us. We appreciate you. And I
All
appreciate
right.
you so much, Jen.
I appreciate you so much, Cece. Okay. Have a great rest of your week and we'll chat again soon.
Sounds good. Signing off.
Okay.
Okay,
Bye,
bye.
babe.